All right, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another week of locals in set 9 of One Piece TCG. We got Robin. I know you're... Oh yeah, Pecan's got Robin again. Of course I do. All right, we're making it work. Trying out another deck list. All right, just always tweaking things, trying stuff different. You know, having fun. Shout out to my round 1 opponent. Got Sanji. We are going second. Real quick, make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not, and if you like deck lists and locals content. And also, if you guys are going to be buying off anything off TCG Player, I got my affiliate link in the description if you want to help support the channel. So we just draw and pass. Not even looking at the hand because I don't have any 2-Don plays in the deck, which is probably something I need to adjust, you know. Looking at the list, or not the list, the hand. Taking a look at it. I know in a recent Robin video, I did go over starting hands and mulligan. The reason that I like this hand is, yeah, we've got one top end, Yamato. We've got our mid-game play for Yamato, or for Robin. Here you go, swinging 5 after playing Shiraya. And I am going to be countering out a little bit more aggressively earlier on against the Sanji because I know he can rush out a character pretty much every turn. So that's maybe more than I can handle the early to mid game, right? But in this case, in this hand, we've got 2Ks, we've got stuff to trash to ramp, right? We've got our top end. The Gum Gum Giant is really good. And then we've got our Robin to play out next turn. The reason I'm pitching the zero cost event is because it is... we have 2K counters in hand already to counter out with, and I'd rather have that than have to trash something for the zero cost, right? Say he swings 5 or 6K, I can just use a singular card. Rather, if I trashed a 2K counter right now, like that Frankie or Veggie, then we'd have to use the zero cost event or just take the hit, which is a little bit over countering. So rather just do that for the ramp, keep the 2K counters in hand. For example, see here, he's swinging 6 of life. We take anyway, and we get the Nami. Since we are 4 life, you know, and then I think he has 4 Don or so. Yeah, should be 4 Don. So I think that I can counter out of 4 cost characters rush. But we use the Nami to KO the Shiraya. Debating it because we don't get the draw, which again, yeah, I know some people don't like the Nami, but it's just too good to get rid of a 5 cost body in this kind of a meta. Plays out another Shiraya, which is honestly good for me, I think, because it's just a little bit less aggressive. However, it just means that with the Shiraya, he's a little bit easier to counter out of our leader banish swings, right? But we get another Yamato, so I know I'm okay as long as I can survive to late game. We got to get down to 1 life, though. We are up at 7 Don from ramping. So we're just going to go 6 of life. Don't mention anything about my Don. It's fine. I kind of forgot my Don deck at home. I honestly was going to be playing Bella Betty today, but I forgot the entire deck box at home. So sad. So we go 6 for the Robin, trash top life, and then pass over to him, hoping that we go down to 1 life here so I can use Yamato, which is kind of what I'm expecting because Sanji is going to probably rush something out. So he's at 7 Don, I believe. So expecting something like a Wapple or a 5 cost coming out. Yes, I know so many people like the 10 cost ace, and I don't think it's a bad card. I don't know if people think I think it's a bad card, but just because I don't use it in my deck profiles, I don't think it's a bad card. I just prefer using 9 cost characters to heal because you can use 1 Don for Gum Gum Giant, which is just super good. So I was staring at Frankie with that super. But ace is really good in a lot of matchups. Having a 10 cost 10k rush is super good, and even if you don't get the rush, just being able to heal at any point without having to trash, you know, for like the Big Mom is pretty good. However, in this type of a matchup, you'll see the Big Mom does put in some work removing a 6-cost character. He plays out the Wapol. So he's going 9 at life after the Wapol has the buff. Here, I did think I make a mistake. I keep the Onami to, at a later point, give banish to one of my big bodies. However, I probably should have hit the Shiraya. The reason I didn't is because in my mind, I don't know why I'm thinking of wanting to play out the Yamato to KO the Shiraya and swing at the Wapol, but I think I forgot that the Wapol keeps his buff for my turn. So we just go 9 to KO the Shiraya. If I played it properly, I should have popped the Shiraya with the Onami trigger and then used Big Mom to heal Wapol to his life, right, to banish out a later turn. The whole thought process, yeah, so here I'm asking, is he buff still? So yeah, the whole thought process with the Big Mom is that anything that I can heal to my opponent's life is a thing that I can possibly banish out later, right? Our whole goal for this deck, at least for my deck profile, is to pressure my opponent's hand size or their life with the banish swings and things like the 6-drop Nico Robin or the 6-cost banish Zoro, and then just establish a bunch of our big 9k bodies, right? So removing our opponent's board while we do that just helps alleviate a little bit of pressure on our life, even though I don't mind all the time going down to 1 or 2 life if we have the heal cards in hand. But against aggro decks like Sanji, just being able to kind of remove one of his bodies every turn with either the Big Mom or Yamato is super crucial. So here, we don't have a ton of counter in hand. We don't have a Don up for Gum Gum Giant. So he's doing the Wapol buff, swinging at our life, and then using the Wapol's other effect. I'll put the card up on the screen if you guys are not familiar with Wapol. It minuses one of your characters as well. So I think it minuses our Robin. So we take another brick. I'm a little scared right now. You know, it's always nice when you get like the heal boss monsters, but you don't want all of them at the same time, right? So then goes 6 into a Robin, which I think is either -1 or 2. I honestly can't remember. It's been a couple days since I recorded this locals, but we just let it go anyway because I'm not going to trash like all my counter that I have. And then he's playing out just a vanilla 7/9. So swinging 9 at life. We say. So yeah, just another brick and another brick. It's crazy. But now we have the ability to heal and then also use our Gum Gum Giant. And here I'm thinking we're going 5 of life banish. I like doing the 5 banish because either I get counter out of their hand or they lose a life, right? And I'm hoping that they just give me some counter out of their hand so that I can swing at their board with a reduced hand size. You know, and one of Sanji, just Russian generals, downside is that if they're playing out multiple cards, like or just to like swing and rush with, right, their hand sizes are going to be crazy, especially when they're playing against a leader that has banish. So we played the Big Mom, trash the Big Mom, heal ourselves, put Wapol to his bottom. But yeah, that's why I always swing the banish swing first if you're going to be going for their board. Normally it's the opposite, right? You don't swing at life before you swing at characters in case they get counter from their life that helps them protect their board. But with Robin having banish, obviously we can do it a little bit backwards and get some counter out of their hand before we go for their board. Yeah, I would like to try a deck list that runs the 10 cost ace just to have a 10k power body to help swing into some stuff, right? Like Gecko Moria is still a big problem. He's a 9k body, so if we're swinging 10s at him, Requiring a 2k counter from that every turn is a lot better than just my 9k bodies, or any one that runs the purple 9 cost rush Luffy, you know, is pretty good for that. But now we've put him in a little bit of a hard position, right? But that's just the nature of banish. But also the Onami does just work so well with the Katakuri, which I'll have the deck list that I'm running at the end of the video and also in the description if you guys want to copy it into the sim. Here he goes, 5 of life, but hoping that get the 8-drop Katakuri to heal the Onami after we play back to life is always great. But even if I was to cut Katakuri out to make space for the ace, which is what I think I would probably cut to make space for the ace, Onami is still a great card and great trigger out of life. Like KOing a 5 cost is always good, and just giving any of our bodies banish, super good. So here he plays out Chopper, just the 1 cost blocker. Thinking if he might, you know, maybe he just gives Chopper rush and just swings out with him. But kind of crazy how much the 1 cost and like jump blockers have gone back into to play with how many big buys there are. But here he's playing out the 2 cost 2k counter Brook that attaches Don, and then I'm like, wait, I think Sanji, you can't rush out things with on play, right? So I was like, oh, I let him take it back, right? But here he's like, no, I don't want to take it back. I'm gonna attach the 2 rested Don to Chopper, and then I'm like, oh god, wait, actually, it's gonna be a big swing with Chopper. So then he's going with all Don, just like 10 or so at life, which is crazy, and I respect it. I love the 10k Chopper swing from the 1 cost Chopper blocker. But yeah, with so many big bodies coming into the meta with Shanks and Blackbeard and such, the 1 cost blockers are they get a lot of value, you know, if you can block out a 12k swing or a 9k swing for just 1 Don. Here I just kind of wanted to cycle my hand anyway, so use the event, and then we use a 2k on top of that to go up to 11. And I gotta say, I love it. I respect it. Locals is always so fun. I love these guys. And just the 10k Chopper swing coming in crazy. I love it. I love it. Let me know how you guys' locals have been. You guys been liking set 9. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's always fun. And here I am. A little bit overkill going 9k into the Chopper, but I'm just trying to clear his board. You know, we need to limit his swings, and after showing me how you know, he's willing to go 9k or 10k with Chopper, we clear him, go Yamato to kill the Brook, and then 5 banish. And here I'm debating swinging at life with Yamato. He is at 3 life, just 1 in hand, and I'm worried about him getting like a kid killer or like some kind of rush card to go alongside with his leader ability giving something rush. Like if you could rush out 3 things, we could be in trouble, right? We only have a 3k counter in hand right now, and you never know what your last life is going to be. You can always take a look at your trash and kind of gauge what you've seen through your trash to think what might be in your life. But yeah, I don't know. Set 9's been a lot of fun. I've been seeing a lot more new people show up to locals. It's really cool. I think it's a really great time to get into the card game if you guys are debating it. If you got any friends that are thinking about getting into it, it's a great time too. And also, not swinging here. I think leaving him at 3 life, right? We can always hit him with the Robin next turn, leader swing as well, possibly banish out 2 cards, And then we know what his last life is because it's the Wapple that we healed, which gives us a lot of hand information. So he's going just 15 at Linlin, and that is unfortunate. RIP Linlin. But it just means that we didn't have anything rushed out at us, so we're a little bit safer. We draw our Zoro. A little bit late to get him. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. I do wish I kept him at maybe 3 copies, the Zoro. It's really good into Shanks and Blackbeard, I think. Here I'm asking, oh, you got 3 life, huh? Play out the Robin to banish, to trash his top life. And now he's got 3 cards in hand, or 2. So then I think we're just going to go 9 or 8 life at banish, just in case we get a Gum Gum Giant, I guess. And then go 9 at life and 9 at life. Could have went 9 at life with Robin Leader just to guarantee the hit, but just in case we get the Gum Gum Giant out of life, you know. And that 9K does get us the round 1 win. GG against her opponent. Really fun match. I love it. The chopper swing was crazy. Here we are into our second round. Opponent, shout out. I think it was his first or second time playing. Again, a lot of new players, which is really cool to see. Let him know. Feel free to read any of my cards. Tell him about my leader. Looking at our hand, we got Zoro. We've got a lot of top end. So hopefully we draw into some more triggers, because I don't know if I want to trash my Olvia just to ramp, right? Or 2K. So we're going first. I think we won the dice roll. And I believe he is running more than just the standard starter deck Uta build. But plays out the chopper. Go 3 Dawn. Got a Gum Gum Giant, but here we are just going 8 at life, trashing our 2K counter to ramp. So we get his first life. At least if we make it to endgame, right, we have a decent setup with the 3 top end. And he goes 6 at life. He takes the top card from film. I can't remember what he got, but it was a film card. We take, plays a Charlotte Katakuri, which is the 3/4. If you have 6 or more rested, he gets plus 2,000 power. So now here we are going up to 6 Dawn with a random Utu card coming out. Here we are doing the process of just swinging 5 life banish, no pitch, because what we're going to be doing is playing out the banish Zoro this turn. And then next turn we'll play out the Robin if we can, depending, you know, how low we get down in life, right? But we can play out the Robin next turn, trash his top life, and then swing 7K with Zoro, and then we'll be at 8 Dawn. So after playing 6 for the Robin, we can use the last 2 to go 7 again banish. So it's a really good combo, really good line you can take if you have the time to. But against decks that are going a little bit aggressive, it can be an issue. He's going 7, drawing. I think he got I'm Invincible from that. And we take KO the Katakuri, KOing the 4 cost, which is really good because, again, I was a little bit worried about getting kind of pressured down. So he's playing out the Brook into the Katakuri. So here we are going up to 8 Dawn. Yeah, with just 2 Gum Gum Giants, I think as long as we can survive this next turn, we'll be okay. But I'm thinking about not playing the Robin, I think, this turn because of the fact that I'm only at 2 life. Not a lot of counter in hand, and I don't want to play out the Robin and then use the Gum Gum Giant, right, setting myself back a turn. So I think we're going to use the Katakuri to put something to his life just to reduce another swing. So swing the 7 at life, loses an event. So play out the Katakuri. I think we put the Brook or the Katakuri because he can be a 6k swing, right? Which technically can be more pressure, but you know, has to have the rest of card condition. And I believe, I can't remember, but I think the Katakuri also gets it on your opponent's turn too, right? As long as there's still the rest of characters. But I'm not sure. But either way, just healed the Katakuri to its bottom life. To reduce swings. And hoping to just go down to 1 life here if we can. Might have missed our opportunity to use the Robin character. However, a bit safer of a spot we are in now. Getting the Katakuri out. In case he plays out any of the 7-cost Luffy blockers, right? That 7k or that 8k sideline for Katakuri can always swing over it. But he's just going 10 at Zoro. And we're just going to let him go. I'm not going to give up. Well, we don't even have the counter, actually. I think we can just get to 10. Yep. So we couldn't even save him if we wanted to. But even if I could, I don't know if I'd give up all those cards just for Zoro. He did some work. He got a banish swing out. And then I think he's just going the rest of Dawn. I think 8 or so at life. We get another top end Big Mom. The Veggie's always in my hand, man. It's kind of crazy. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I play yellow, it's always in my hand or always the first life. Like it never saves my day. But we're just going 8 into Brook. Let's it go. We're going 5 at life with their leader. He gives us a 1k. And we just Yamato going over the character, and then KOing the Chopper and healing, leaving 1 down up for the Gum Gum Giant, which we might just use anyway, just because we want to kind of filter our hand a bit, maybe. I mean, we've got some good counter now, a couple 2Ks, the Big Mom removal and heal. But if I'm worried about like a Shanks coming down, just KOing the Katakuri, and then a turn after that, you know, that Shanks swinging at life, and maybe some I'm Invincibles coming out would be really rough to defend through. But so here he's resting 1 for New Genesis, doing the search, top 3, and then it also restands that Dawn after use. Again, I apologize, but I can't recall what he took from hand, but I'm never one at these locals videos when I'm recording to pressure people to record or like play for the recording. Even whenever there's somebody new, I make sure I tell them like, hey, we don't have to record, don't have to be in the video. That's totally fine. It's all up to you. Especially with these new people playing, you know, I just want them to have a good experience and like play the game at their pace. So I'm never going to be like, oh, what did you get again? What did you search for again? And like, I'm sure he did show me, but I just can't remember. So we take the leader swing, and then he plays out the vanilla 8-cost 10k Luffy. And here I am in kind of that worried state. Like I could pressure his life again with playing out Robin and then swinging his lead, and there are 2 big bodies, right? But again, I have to worry about the I'm invincible swings coming in, especially now with a big body that I can't really get rid of. So just going to heal with Lin and pressure his hand a bit now. So banish. And I'm guessing he just didn't have a ton of counter, since he took the 5 cost or 5k banish, but now he's down to 1 life and in a bit of a rough spot. If he's got, I mean, I don't know. We have a pretty big hand, so doing the I'm invincible would probably not get you there, but that is probably your best bet at this point, unless you can play out 2 blockers. Maybe. So yeah, I think if you're not going to go for game, I think the best bet would probably just play out 2 blockers. And it also depends on what counter you have in your hand, right? You definitely want to try to swing at the Katakuri. Here is, I think he asking about trying to remember what the rule text for the Gum Gum Giant event is, right? Because leaving 1 Don up for a purple Straw Hat leader, you know what it probably is. And again, new player, I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is what it is, you know, kind of saying like, yeah, I kind of do have this card. Here it is, because it was in my trash. Just letting him know, because he was wondering if you can plus the 4,000 onto a character, which definitely would help, because he's probably going to want to try to swing at my Katakuri to reduce swings I have. So I think he's going 15 or so at Katakuri. So yeah, we pitch a Big Mom. We should pitch a Big Mom. Well, I think I got a little greedy, because I didn't know how many top end I would get into. I think he went 14 actually, because we go up to 15. But yeah, it's always a bit of a balancing act when you need to heal, so you want to keep in your big bodies, but realistically, I don't think the game should have gone on for 2 more turns, like playing out 2 more Lin-Lins. So probably should have just been able to trash one of them, especially the fact that we drew into 2 dead cards. The 2 more Yamatos is a little bit rough. So we take 5 of life, we just take 0 cost event again. Second card in life, not the last one. Then just 4 for the Uta blocker. And then I think the last 2 Don is going to be the Gordon blocker, which lets you trash any music type card to get, I think, plus 1,000 for the battle. When both attacking and blocking, I think, from your leader. So we go up to 9 Don, since we just played the Lin-Lin and then the Gum Gum Giant. We don't have a lot of Don. We are 1 life and 1 life. And I think he has 6 cards in hand, 7 cards in hands, which you never know, could be a lot. So I'm debating with 1 life and 2 blockers, we would have to have all 4 of our swings go through. So I'm like, if he can count out of 1 thing, then I'm kind of screwed, right? So we just play the Yamato to KO one of the blockers and go for game. And yeah, he just didn't have the counter for the incoming swings. So GG, again, shout out to my opponent. I hope one of his first locals was nice. Shout out to our 3rd round Black Purple Luffy. Just pausing to take a look at the starting hand. Again, pretty decent. We have Robin, Onami, Zoro, so some decent mid-game cards to play out, with also the possibility of trashing the Onami to ramp. Then we have our late game, the Yamato and Katakuri stuff to heal. So we end up keeping. I think we're going first, won the die roll. Which again, also going first against Black Purple Luffy, pretty good. I could believe that deck does want to go first. So we just go 1 Don and pass. But hopefully we don't have to trash the Onami because we have the possibility with our hand actually being the perfect setup to do the play the Onami out, give banish to something like maybe the Robin character card, and then healing the Onami to life with the Katakuri, which is, you know, just a bunch of just good value. So plays out the Law, takes the Sanji rush card, and then pass, and then we, yep, perfectly get a different card to trash. So we can go 8 at life, banish, trash the Saw to ramp 1 rested. So yeah, if we can keep the Onami in hand, that's always good. It's always great to get double value out of something like that, you know, giving one of our characters banish to pressure life or hand size, and then KOing something 5 cost or lower, and then he counters out the AK, and then KOing something from life with the Onami. It's always good. Or maybe just getting it back to hand for counter, right? Does hurt a little bit in this matchup because with that 1 Don attached, right, we have could save some of his characters, right? And then I honestly debated popping the Law with the Luffy, but I didn't think that need to. But he goes 5 with the Law anyway, so we just give the Luffy. Maybe you know, same thing, but going 5 at life, banish here. No ramp because we're going to do the Zoro and then play out the Robin next turn, so we can keep our hand size up. Here people are asking, I think they hadn't seen the Beji from PRB before, and I gotta say I love the Beji. That's probably my favorite card out of PRB besides maybe like the Yamato. It is so good. It's just a very clean alt. I was very lucky I picked them up before they spiked with the Enel card and some of the other premium stuff going up in price. But here he is playing out the Sabo blocker. So now if we did get Onami out of life or any of our other KO cards, we wouldn't be able to pop anything. So here are 8 Don. So just going to use 6. Play out the Robin, trap your top life. Then we can swing 7 and 7, banish, which is just a lot of pressure in 1 turn against life and hand size. Like losing 1 life and then 2 7k banish swings is just very aggressive. Very aggressive. So then 7 and banish, and then he goes blocks. And then next turn, being a 10 Don, we can play out Onami, give banish to Robin, and then heal the Onami to life. But just unfortunate, I don't believe he got to see any of his ramping cards. But he does play out the Sanji, so he can definitely pressure our board here. So puts 2 Don back, can rest our Robin, gets that Don back rested, 1 back active. So I'm looking at my hand. I don't have a ton of counter, right? We have 2 2Ks and Onami, but I want to keep Onami and I want to keep my board, right? So he goes 6 at Robin, which we 2k out of, I believe, because again I want to try to keep him. I'm thinking if he goes 8 at Robin, we can't save her, but he ends up going 8 at Zoro, which we're able to save with another 2k. So now we have the perfect setup. We can do a lot of banishing, a lot of banish. So 10 Don, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a lot of banish. So we just go 5 banish. It's honestly not that much pressure, right? Because it's only 5, 6, and 7k swings. However, you know, that's just a lot of banish swings. So either you're countering out or losing the life. So we get him down to 1 life. We heal Onami to our top life. And honestly, we can get it back to hand and probably just banish out again. But now our hand size is pretty low after countering out last turn. Plays out the Luffy rush. Helped him go over the steps with the Luffy here. So he puts back 2 Don, gets back 1 rested, 1 active, gets to draw a card. And then looking at my board, yep, he can totally clear them both. Just kind of helping him go over it. Again, shout out to my opponent here, who's always showing up to locals with him and his dad, right? But I'm just telling him, like, just clear my board. Just clear my board. After how much banish rudeness I did, he deserves it. And then he swings 5 of life. We take. Here I would say maybe just don't even swing on life, because you know I can just play out that Onami again and kind of give that banish. But honestly, we don't even need to, because I think he only has 2 cards in life, so we can, or in hand, so we can just go 9 to trash that last card with banish, and then just go 14 in life. GG to our round 3. But again, shout out to our last opponent. Currently we're 3-0 against a black Ill Luffy, which is not a great matchup for us. However, if we can kind of chain a lot of our 9k bodies, it does help, because we can always just reach his 9k leader. And just again, I want to reiterate, shout out to my locals, a bunch of very nice people. It's never too serious, right? We all come here just to have fun, and it's good to see new players coming in to check out the card game. That should always be the goal, right? Having locals be a fun and welcoming place for everyone to have some fun at. And it's never really at the end of the day about winning, right? Well, it is, but it's not, right? It's just the locals. We should just be here to have fun. So plays out the Garp, picks up I think the Kid Sabo, but also the 6 cost Zoro, hoping that puts in some good work for me, being another banish just to make it so by the late game he doesn't have a huge hand, because that could be pretty bad for us, right? The top life we take, Veggie, again, he's always the first life or in my hand, and then we draw into another Veggie, which is kind of crazy. We're at 6. So I think we're going to go 5 of life banish, probably pitching 1 of our 2k counters, because we have just a handful of them. So yeah, pitching the Veggie to ramp 1 rested, then 6 Don. We're going to play out the Zoro. Here's thinking about probably 6 Don. Probably, I think a lot of people are still expecting when you have the 6 Don, that's going to be Robin, but playing out the Banish Zoro. The Zoro is a pretty good stat line too, because if he does buff up at least once, we can still reach that 7k stat line on his leader. Black Yellow Luffy I find to be another matchup that is winnable, but it's always it's a long haul, right? It is a long grind type of game. We have to kind of burn out their hand size and hope that we don't get a ton of geckos, right? If they get a ton of Gecko Warriors, there's nothing really we can do. So using Hiyori to stack his life, probably play out a 5 cost body, right? Playing out the Sabo. So yep, that's I guess what he put in life was the Sabo. So draw 2. Trash 2, and he's at 2 life, and then a 7k lead. Pitches another Sabo and a Rocket Luffy, the Egghead Luffy. And then I think that's a 9 at life. So we are up to go up to 9 Don. after ramping twice. So 7k lead, we can't hit with the, you know, the leader, but we can hit with Zoro. So we'll put Linlin out on the board, pitching the 0-cost event, heal, putting Sabo to the bottom, and then gonna swing 7 banish at life. Luckily for us, we do have quite a few big bodies, right? We have Yamato and then another Linlin in hand. So hopefully we can just keep pressuring his hand. But as long as the Black Yellow Luffy can find their Gecko Morias, they're in a good spot, right? That's kind of the whole thing. And also a little bit of how it works in mechanics with Robin and just banish into Black Yellow Luffy. Typically through Black Yellow Luffy's leader, right? If a card is face up in their life, instead of going to trash or their hand, it would go to the bottom of the deck, right? But banish kind of negates that in the way that it goes to trash, right? Because it wouldn't have gone to your hand, right? So if we hit a banish swing at one of their face-up life, it goes to trash, which actually kind of helps the Black Yellow Luffy player because that way they can kind of recur those cards. So something to think about. Plays out the Kuzan for 4, which I kind of really need to get rid of, being that it can probably, you know, KO a lot of my big bodies with the Rocket Luffy, the Egghead Luffy. And then he plays out Hiyori to stack his life. And then another Sabo. Draw 2, trash 2, and now I can't KO the Kuzan, which would have been nice if I had a Nami or an Egghead Luffy of my own. But I could have played out Yamato, and then I wouldn't have had to pitch anything for Linlin. And then 7, I think, at life. Can't pop the Kuzan, unfortunately, because of that Sabo. So he is a 7k leader again. So we'll go for the Linlin to get rid of that Kuzan, because again, we'll probably need to get rid of him, or else our big bodies are a little bit in danger. And here, could be a little bit greedy considering to trash a counter card and not one of our dead cards. However, like I said, very grindy matchup here. So we're putting Kuzan to the bottom. 7 of life banish, hopefully to get rid of the top card, right? So he won't be able to get that to hand. And he counters out. And normally I wouldn't swing the 9 of life, right? But I'm trying to really pressure his life here. And then I use Olvia to buff up my leader, swing 8 life at banish. 8 at life banish, right? Honestly, I'm thinking I probably shouldn't have even swung there after the Linlin, right? I don't even know, to be honest, what my thought process was there, but I feel like that was a mistake, getting him down to 0 life, right? Because that just put him into perfect ability to use his leader ability. Definitely a blunder, for sure, I think. So then he's just using Gecko, 2 Sabos. Already had one on the board, so looking rough here. You know, 9k leader, 3 blockers. That is kind of crazy, kind of intimidating. And then, of course, we'll have an 11k swing with the 2 Don from leader. And I think around here he's at 5 or 6 cards in hand. Trashes more of the kid version, so probably another Gecko in hand. And we take, can't pop anything, but 3 in hand, 3 in hand. So honestly, I could probably pressure his board a lot now, or his life now. 3 in hand, probably a Gecko Moria in there, right? I probably could have just split among my leader, my 2 big bodies, and at least got his hand to like 0 and getting rid of all his blockers. But I just try to play it a little bit safer here, healing myself, establishing another Lin, and putting the Sabo. So that way he would have to use some kind of resource to do it, right? He can't really play a Gecko this turn and use leader ability without... Right? Well, no, he could... no. So he can play out the Gecko, play out the 2 kid versions, and then he would be at 1 life with 2 blockers or 2 bodies on board from it, right? Yep, another Gecko comes down. Always hurts to see. And 2 more of the Sabos coming back. So use the first one before you can use leader ability. Trashing a Surge Event, non-counter card. And I believe it was a Garp. Then using leader ability. Put at least 1 Sabo to life. 2 more Sabos. Yep, the Sabos that we've seen. So yeah, 2 Sabos on board, 1 in life. And then I think it's going 9 of life. We get Robin. Not really anything I want to play off of that, you know. He's just pressuring her life, and which is what kind of made me a little bit worried that he was just strictly going for my life, right? Here we could do a couple things. The safe route is to play out the Yamato heal, KO nothing, right? But be up 2 life. But he has 2 cards in hand, right? So that's not a lot. 2 cards in hand. We need all 4 of our swings to go through, though. So the safe bet probably is he is a 9k leader. Just swing 9 with one of the Lins to test how it goes. If he counters out, then yeah, we'll just heal, play it safe, then swing at the Gecko from there with our other Lins. But committing Don here is definitely a mistake, because then I can't really switch it up halfway to play defensively, right? Because we do have a lot of 2k counters. If we go up to 2 life, right, have a ton of 2k counters, he'll probably have to block out with the Sabo, so they won't be able to swing at us next turn. Definitely would have been safe to go for game the following turn, right? Because just 2 cards in hand, we've kind of pressured his hand size. So yeah, he takes the first one, which is an 11. I thought I had like perfect math here, to be honest. But I realized going 11s, he needs just a 2k counter and a 1k counter. And he had 2 2ks. So very unfortunate, but that's kind of how it goes with cycling like 3 Sabos, you know. But yeah, could have played it out a little bit safer, definitely. But it is how it is. So it's going 11. We'd have to give up 4 cards here, and then maybe just hope that our last life is a Saw, which we haven't seen a ton of. So it's possible. Down to 3 cards in hand. So that's what I'm saying. If we had 2 life here, got rid of maybe one of the Geckos, we would have been in a pretty good spot. Trigger out the Olvia just to draw 2 trash 2. We get a 2k counter. and we'll trash our dead cards, but it's still just not enough. So we had 10k counter to get out of, I think, an 11. So honestly, got kind of close there at the end, but yeah, definitely should have played it safer for sure. 2 cards in hand. I should have looked at his trash, but again, it's locals. Definitely, if it's you know, if I was playing smarter, probably should have just looked through his trash, looked what he was pitching, and yeah, definitely some mistakes, but it's good to learn from them. So I hope that y'all can learn from my mistakes too at the end of the day. Very fun locals day. I love playing all these different Robin lists, you know, switching stuff up here. I think the big change was just putting in the Onami, right? This is my first time playing in person with the Onami. But here's the list that I was running for it. As you can see, yep, just the Onami, 2 Katakuri to kind of work with the Onami. And also, again, shout out to my round 4 opponent who ended up winning locals. We went 3-1. I believe he was playing Purple Luffy a couple of weeks ago. So shout out to, like, real good dude. Always at locals. Always fun to play against. And congrats on the win. But yeah, here's the list. 2 Zoro does feel kind of rough sometimes, but I feel like I find the Zoro when I need to, and it's always something that if I think I'm going to need in a match, I'll probably mulligan for, right? If it's something that like is Shanks or Blackbeard again, I think this card is really good into those matchups. But I like it. Again, I'll probably try something different. I think I'll probably build that really bad 10 cost Kaido Linlin list for locals 1 week. Let me know if y'all want to see that. Any suggestions for the list, sure to let me know down in the comments. If you've been playing Robin, let me know how you've been doing with it. And hopefully you guys are just having fun enjoying locals, right? Set 9 is a lot of fun, and I think it's a great set to try out different decks, right? Even the guy who I played, I think it was one of the first weeks he was playing Black Yellow Luffy, which is really cool. You know, people trying out different decks. But either way, let me know what you think down in the comments. Any suggestions for next locals, let me know. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see y'all in our next one. Bye-bye.